That was fucking weird. My, I decided to, randomly just, the fucking OBS decided to hitch there. That was weird. I hope that doesn't happen again. Actually, I'm gonna take a look at this real quick here. Yep, fucking knew it. It hitched there and cut me off there. Oh well, we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Anyway, I guess this is the beginning of the second part, so I'm gonna put that there in stream title. Since, guess stream's gonna hitch like that. Part 2 of, huh? Alright, there we go. Fucking stream hitches. Anyway, really went out last night. Did not get enough sleep. I doubt anyone will mind if I just cop out a few of those hours I lost. Okay. It saves like kind of a frame before. Noted. When I awaken, everyone else is awake too and looking more bored than ever. Only the Pongo snoozes in my lap. How long was I asleep for? Then he glances at me.
Just a few hours.
Are we almost there?
No. We will not arrive before tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow?
Yes.
Eesh, what am I gonna do with all this spare time? I don't like to reach my pocket for a second. It doesn't work. Shoot. Then my hand closes on something equally good. I pull out my deck of cards and lay them out on the table. Then I cranes her neck to see better.
What do you have there?
My cards. I cut the deck and shuffled them. Want to play something? There's enough people that we can play cheat.
How do you play that?
It's easy. Each round you'll pull a card from your hand face down on the center of the table and say what card it is, like this. I put one down as an example. One king. Then everyone else on the table can decide whether or not I'm telling the truth. If you think I'm lying, you call it cheater, and I'll have to reveal the card. If I was lying, then I take all the cards in the pile. If I was telling the truth, then whoever accused me takes all the cards in the pile and the next person starts a new round. You win by having no cards in your hand.
Sounds like fun. I'll play.
Amelia looks thoughtful.
Although I have not partaken in this game before, this sounds like it would be a stimulating challenge.
Okay. Stimulating it is. I glance at Zach. You win? He shakes his head.
I'll pass.
Leanna frowns.
Why not? I know that mercenaries love card games. And it's not like there's much else to do while we wait.
Oh boy.
It's just not my type of game.
I see. As a mercenary, I think I know what can spark his interest. What would we play for money? Zach sits up and looks at me.
I thought you didn't have money.
I do have money. Just not usable here. Amelia leans in close and peers at the money. Even Leanna takes an interested glance.
I fail to recognize this type of currency.
Correct. Oh, well, I'm not exactly from Asaria. Betty stares intently at me again. After a long pause, she looks back at the coins.
I see.
I point out the different types of change I have. Make sure you get the pennies. They're most valuable.
Are these not made from copper?
Yes.
And the nickel would be made from nickel.
Also,
And
yes.
suffice it is to say, should not the nickel be more valuable than the penny?
She fucking gets it. Damn, she got me.
If it's not money I can use, then I'm not interested.
Zach, I will pay you for his coins.
Zach sits back up.
Go on.
For any coin of his you receive, I will trade you one of our coins. Amelia, you really don't have to do that.
It's good.
I know.
It looks uneasily between Zach and Amelia.
Alright. Deal.
Zach tells her I deal out the cards. Zach frowns when he looks at his hand.
These cards are strange.
Like I said, I'm not from Asaria. I have brief rundown of the suits and face cards. When I look up from my hand, I see Amelia staring at me. This is getting a little uncomfortable. Let's start the bet. We'll throw our coins on the table. I'll go first. I drop card face down on the table. 110. Silence. No one reacts. Okay, Lana, it's your go.
Okay.
She sets the card into the table, her face completely blank.
1, 2.
I bet she's telling the truth. No one else calls her out either. Millie's go. Her face grows even more stoic than Leanne's. Millie places the card onto the table.
1 queen.
Yes. I don't think she's cheating. Again, neither does anyone else. Maybe they aren't quite understanding how to play, although I guess it is just the first round. Finally, it's Zach's go. In usual Zach fashion, he slowly slips the card down.
2 8s.
Cheater.
Whoa, she was fast. Without breaking from his poker face, he flips over the card to reveal different cards and eights. Silently, he collects the pile. We count how many cards each person has in their hands, and whoever has the lowest number so far collects the first round of bets. They throw in the next round of bets. Okay, me again. Better stick with the truth. My face is still and blank as possible, so I slip 2 cards onto the table. 2 3s. Nobody calls me out. So far, so good. Leia looks slightly worried at her hand and smooths her face.
2 aces.
Good pass. I bet she was faking her worry and is telling the truth. Better not risk it.
Cheater.
Brianna grins as he flips over 2 aces. Zach nervously collects the cards. Good thing it stayed silent. Leia puts down her cards.
2 7s.
I'm not aware of having any 7s or anything, so... Good pass. Broken, she's just too good. I can't tell if she's cheating or not, so I'm going to stay silent. Nobody else calls her out. Without delay, Zach lays down his cards.
2 5s.
Before anyone else has a chance to react, Amelia calls out.
Cheater.
Zach rumbles over his breath as he collects the pile. Amelia looks back at Zach's disgruntledness. The bet for this round goes to the winner and we start a new pot. Back to me again. Truth. Going to stick with what I do best. I'll show and tell. I might try out Leanna's strategy tricking me. Maybe she'll fall for her own trick. First will let it slip on my face that I might be lying. 1 king. Nobody calls me out. I guess once that's been done, it'll be hard to fool everyone again. Oh well. Leah lands down her card, looking confident.
1 king.
We pass. That's the same card to put down last round. I bet she also has one. This feels like her begging for someone to call out. No calls her out. They always think the same thing I do. Bailey wears the same stony face and slips down a card.
1 jack.
Yeah, I can't get rid of her, so I fall back on keeping quiet. Zach plays his card.
1 6.
Again, Amelia is faster than anyone else.
Cheater.
Zach growls in frustration.
How do you know every single time?
Amelia just stares at him with the same blank stare. It frustrates Zach even more.
This is the dumbest game ever.
He throws his cards down the table and knocks over the coins before crossing his arms. Nana jumps away from the table as Zach hits it, her eyes wide. A little taken aback and jolt back which wakes the Pongo. Only Amelia remains unfazed.
Boy, boy.
So, should we keep playing?
Of course.
Zach picks his cards back up. Leanna and I glance at each other and burst out laughing. At first, Amelia looks at us in bewilderment, but our laughter is so engaged that she breaks a smile.
Are we playing or what?
We resume the game with smiles all around. The longer we played, the more into the game everyone became. Needless to say, Amelia correctly guesses Zach cheats every single time, much to Zach's ever-growing frustration. In the end, I won the game with the first to run out of cards. When we were tired of cheat, I taught him a couple other games. It was late into the night we all decided to turn and go to sleep. So I'm assuming we taught him like poker, gin rummy maybe, Texas Hold'em. Sun shines brightly through the window and flashes on my face, forcing me awake. Me and Amelia are both already awake, but Zach still has his head down as if he's still asleep. I look outside and squint at the sky. What time is it?
It's already past noon. We slept through the entire morning.
Oh shit. We did? That goes at my alarm.
Normally that would be a bad thing, but in this case it's okay. We're almost at Bazada.
I nod. Basada. Jack gradually wakes up and we all make sure we have all our things. After another hour or two, the train stops and announces our arrival to Bazada. The sun hangs high in the skies. One by one, we step off the train. As soon as I set foot in the city, I'm assaulted by the sound of voices. Makeshift stalls line the sides of the roads and alleys as people pack the streets. Traders entice onlookers to view their wares, customers haggle in heated shouting matches. Are we going to have to travel through that? I blanch at the thought of getting trapped amidst a sea of people like sardines in a can.
We have arrived in Basada.
That's weird. This is where we'll find Nevermist?
No, as I said, it is the closest city to Embermist.
Okay. Considering the bustle of this place, I find it a little hard to believe that the hidden city is so close. Normally, I seem so surprised. It seems to read my thoughts.
Of course, close is a relative term. We must first traverse some rough terrain and pass through the forest before we find Evermist.
Ooh. She points towards the south where I can make out the tips of treetops. Then she glances up at the sky.
Considering only a few hours remain before nightfall, it may be in our best interest to spend the evening here in the city and depart in the morning.
Makes sense. And nods.
Good thinking. This marketplace is so huge. People say you can literally buy your heart's desires here.
Good. Is there something you're thinking of buying?
Nothing in particular, but I would like to check out the stalls. Traders from all over the world gather here to sell their wares.
Cool.
Hi!
Pango's happy. Bends down at my feet and watches Pango wiggle excitedly. He casts hungry looks into the crowd. Is there a lot of magic here? I haven't seen this guy so excited since he first tried to eat me. Lily bends down and scrutinizes him. She pokes him with a finger and Pango giggles.
Hi, boy!
I'm going to the inn. I'll meet up with you later.
Before any of us can react, Zack slips into the crowd. Should we go after him? Lily doesn't even blink at Zack's departure. She's too preoccupied with the Pango, and shakes her head.
No, but since Zack left, I'm going to go too. Should we meet back up at the inn?
Sure. She nods and heads into the crowd. As everyone else seems to know what they want to do, what do I want to do? Let's see. We hung out with Zack during the camp thing. And we've done things with Leanne already. I think we're gonna see what Amelia's up to. I decide to seek out Amelia. I stand by Akira while Amelia mutters to herself. She seems to be in the middle of something and doesn't notice my presence.
Male, adolescent, of the cerulean variant.
She holds out her bracelet. Pango blinks at it, then looks back at her. Amelia cocks her head to the side as she observes him. With Amelia's attention still on him, Pango scoots closer to the bracelet and looks at her again.
Go on.
He casually sniffs at the bracelet and sticks his tongue out to lick at the air. Afterwards, he grins widely at Amelia.
Boy?
Interesting. Normally, a cerulean pongo will leave out even the slightest trace of magical residue.
Amelia doesn't have a chance to finish as Pango springs to her arms.
Boy!
She fumbles the catch and pulls Pango close to her chest to stabilize him.
What do you think you're...
Her voice trails off as she looks down at the still smiling Pango.
Boy?
Amelia blinks as the caution melts away from her face. The corners of her mouth curl up in a smile and she squeezes Pango in a cuddle.
Boy!
The Pango wheezes as he's squeezed against her chest. Gonna say, also cute. Ah, I do like him. The gas drops her arms, letting Pango tumble to the ground.
I was merely conducting analysis.
I didn't want to do the other option because he seemed fucking creepy. Anyway, the Pango hops back to her arms and snuggles against her. His cheeks tinge pink. He clears her throat.
Regardless, I am going to the apothecary.
Apothecary? Can I just heal with magic?
Yes, There are mages who specialize in healing magic, but they use earth magic which neither Leanna nor I possess. As such, we will need to purchase healing items to treat a wound.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Would you like me to go with you?
No, it will be faster if I go alone.
Before I even have a chance to react, she turns on her heel and walks away. As she goes, the Pongo pops his face over her shoulder and gazes longingly at me.
Boy.
A single tear rolls down his cheek. Poor Pongo. Pongo! I reach out for him as the distance between us grows. Wait a minute, why is he making that face? He could literally leave at any time and just come back to me. Come back. He turns around and disappears from my view. A sneaky little Pongo. Well, I guess we're seeing everybody. I'll check on Zach. Zach went straight to the inn and Lulia too. What's going on at all these inns? I'd like to know too. I rush into the street and look for any sign of the inn. Luckily, I managed to spot Zach in the crowd before he disappears back into the sea of people. Making my way down the street, I finally locate the inn just in time to see Zach. He stands in front of a large notice board filled with pinned papers. As I get closer, I make out some of the flyers, which include a portrait of a scowling face and a large monetary number. Zach checking out wanted posters? Maybe he's looking for a specific bounty. I'm about to call to him when a young blonde wearing a skin-tight suit of armor flounces over to him. Twirling a lock of hair between her fingers, she seems to study the board. Every so often, she shoots a pointing glance over to Zach, hoping to catch his eyes, but his attention never wavers from the board. Finally, she speaks.
Do you have a bounty on your heart?
God damn it! For the first time since her arrival, Zach looks at her. She grins devilishly.
Because I'm looking to collect.
Jesus Christ. Here focuses on the board and she frowns. For her second attempt at terrible pickup lines, she says, "Hey guy, wanna see a magic trick?" Nope, none of that. She bumps up her ample chest and touches his arm as he speaks in a sickly sweet voice.
So, are you a bounty hunter?
Zach shrugs her arm off of him.
No.
No, I'm not a bounty hunter.
Then you must be a mercenary.
He doesn't answer. She seems to take that as a sign of encouragement and her sultry smile returns. She leans in close to him and runs her fingers up his arm.
I've got a mission that I could use some help with. Are you for hire?
No. And Zach brushes her hands off him and steps away from her.
No.
He seems a bit taken aback, but quickly recovers and slides closer to him.
Are you sure there isn't something I could offer to change your mind?
Fuck off.
No.
He sighs before plastering the same smile and lets out a small laugh.
Geez, you're kind of dense. I was hoping to spend some intimate time with you. So, what do you say?
No thanks. But if I'm ever in need of your services, then I'll go find you at the brothel.
Ha! Burn! The woman's eyes grow wide like saucers. With a sharp huff, she tries to slap Zach, who sidesteps out of the way. She lets out another huff before storming off. I'm gonna watch her leave. A hell's out of the way, she stomps towards the exit. Whoa, she did not look happy. Well, that was weird. I go stand beside Zach. What was that about? He shrugs.
Who cares?
I agree. Who cares? I take a look at the wand posters on the board. Most of these faces look like generic, weathered, and discarded bandits, I imagined. Is that what you had to take care of in Illumina? Zach fidgets expressionless eyes on me. When we first released Illumina, the first thing you did was find the inn. Then when we came here, you did the exact same thing. He relaxes slightly and nods.
Just staying up to date on the news.
Oh. Sounds like the life of mercenary is pretty interesting.
Something like that.
Excuse me, are you a mercenary?
Oh no. Another one? As one, Zach and I turn to face another scantily dressed woman. This one has furry red hair and mischievous glint in her eye. Zach narrows his eyes.
Yes?
Are you sure you're not a rogue? Because you've just stolen my heart.
Fucking hell. I'm doing the same fucking thing right now. Zach sighs and face palms. I, in real life, just did the same. I have a bad feeling about this. No shit. Zach ends up shaking her off and searches for the innkeeper to buy a drink. I guess we're going shopping with Leanna now. I head in the same direction I think Leanna's gone and duck into the crowd, trying not to bump into two-way people as I explore the marketplace. Never seen a Pongo this crowd before. Place, not Pongo. What the fuck? I think that's gonna slip in my subconscious now. Pongos. Jesus. Doesn't feel like I'm walking so much as I'm being pushed by everyone. Despite all the people, I'm fascinated by the market stalls. Merchants sell all different kinds of merchandise, ranging from play pottery to magic amulets. As I'm being pulled through the crowd, I see a glimpse of blonde hair and white armor. That must be Leanna. I wade through the crowd, see Leanna frozen in place. Hey, Leanna. She blinks at me.
Hey!
How's the marketplace so far?
Really interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff I haven't seen before.
She seems distracted.
Do you smell that?
I breathe in deeply. No rolling sweet smells wafts by on the breeze. There's really no way I couldn't.
I think it's coming from that stall over there. Come on!
She darts back into the crowd and I quickly follow until we stop at a stall filled with delicate glass bottles. Is this perfume?
Yes, welcome, welcome.
God. A tanned man in silken robes ushers us closer to the stall. He selects a glass bottle filled with pale pink liquid and offers it to Leanna.
A noble scent to match such a noble woman.
Ho ho ho! I am the French! Leanna blushes and delicately accepts the bottle, her eyes wide in recognition.
Is that extract of spirit orchid?
The man grins broadly and clasps his hands together.
Yes, yes, very rare, from the far celestial mountains.
Oh, the celestial mountains! I twirl my mustache in my baguette.
I never expected to find this perfume here.
What is it? When I see the bottle, I take a tentative whiff. It smells fruity, like a cross between an apple and a pear. Is this a flower? You're nuts.
The spirit orchid. It only grows in the deep forest of the celestial mountain range.
Wild. Why is it called the spirit orchid?
The roots are a very pale white. And when it grows, it almost looks like it's floating midair, like a spirit.
Ooh. That's cool. That's kinda neat. She nods absentmindedly and continues to hold the bottle. You wanna get it? And then quickly shakes her head.
Oh, sorry. It just reminds me of home.
Oh.
My grandmother used to wear this perfume whenever she left the house. When I was little, that meant taking me down to the market.
Ooh. She smiles fondly at the memory, but her eyes had a hint of sadness. I'm assuming her grandma's dead.
I loved wandering the shops and stalls. It didn't matter if I had nothing to buy. It was a chance to leave the house and be like everyone else.
It sounds like you didn't go out much.
It was complicated.
I see. She doesn't offer up any more information and turns the bottle to a blank spot on the shelf. Although she's been very helpful in helping you understand this world, Leanna doesn't talk about her past much. I glanced at her again. She looks pensively at the bottle, a small crease in her brow. Suddenly, a new scent cuts through the floor of perfumes. It smells of cinnamon and spice. Cookies! Hey, Leanna, do you smell that? She trolls out of her thoughts and blinks.
Smell what?
I think it's coming from the stall over there. I grin, just used it before. I dart back into the street.
Hey, wait!
We weave through the people before stopping in front of a stall filled with a sort of baked goods. I breathe in the heavenly sweetness of sugar and sighed contentedly. Then closes her eyes and inhales.
It smells so delicious!
Hell yes. I browse the array of cookies and tiny cakes. Leanna gasps.
They have cinnamon parfaits. I love those.
What are those?
They're cinnamon and vanilla custard layers with apricots.
Nice.
What do you think looks good?
Actually, that cinnamon parfait you mentioned sounds really good.
They are. And they're not super sweet either, which is why I like them.
Yeah, that's good. I fished my pocket for my winnings from yesterday. Today's treats are on me. And it looks amused.
Are you sure you want to use your life savings?
Oh, right. Don't worry, you've been very generous towards me ever since Battle Hill. This is the least I can do to repay you. I know it's not much, but please consider this as a token of my appreciation. Leanna smiles bashfully.
Thank you.
I grinned, then paid for a cinnamon parfait for Leanna and dessert for myself. Cheers. I held my dessert and take a bite. As sweet as it melts on my tongue, I felt a contented sigh. It's even better than I imagined. Leanna giggles and lets out an equally happy sigh as she bites into her cinnamon parfait.
This is why I love markets.
We get to eat cookies at the market. That's right. I had not agreed as we returned to the street. One of the guards at the marketplace notices Leanna's Mage Guild emblem and pulls her over to talk.
Sorry, I need to take this.
Alright, since this looks like official business, I better leave them be. Think I should play her then? She smiles.
Okay.
Yep. I'm ready for a little bit of me time. I head into the crowds, appreciate all the marketplace has to offer. After exploring the city, I meet up with the rest of the group back at the inn. Temperatures are high as we eat in silence. I think everyone's a mixture of weariness and anxiety for the next leg of our journey. Even the Pongo's strangely silent and obedient. Once we finish eating, we head upstairs to find our rooms. Upon finding her room, Leanna suddenly perks up.
Oh, Amelia, you and I will be sharing a room tonight.
Girl time! Amelia speaks dismissively.
Naturally, that would be more appropriate than the alternative.
She pauses, then looks at Leanna with interest.
Are you insinuating that you would rather share a bedroom with them?
Amelia points a sack at me.
What? No! Of course not!
Oh, my mistake. Of course you could not have met both of them. There aren't nearly enough beds.
Exactly.
You must have meant him.
Amelia points to me. Leanna's face turns pink as she shakes her head.
Amelia! That's not true!
If that is false, then why is your face red?
It's not like I like this person or anything, Babaka.
The point is, I'd obviously rather share a room with you.
Amelia blinks.
If that is the case, then why even bring it up?
Because I'm excited. It'll be nice to have some girl time.
Exactly. I agree. Then Zach to tuck his guns into the other bed.
I concur. Sharing a room has proven to strengthen bonds amidst peers and foster camaraderie.
Yes.
You mean make friends?
Yes.
Precisely.
Exactly. Leanna grins and Amelia smiles back.
Boy?
I'll glance down to Pango by her feet. Alright, let's see. Nope. Did not want to do that. This game is easily adjustable, apparently. I think I have to fix that window again, speaking of. Alright. We're going to transform and hit the screen. Pongo's trying to sleep in a room. Amelia snatches him up in her arms.
The Pongo needs to spend the night with us tonight. We need him for science.
Yes! As Amelia slips into her bedroom, Leanna nods rapidly. It also saves Zach the trouble of having his guns eaten by a Pongo.
Yes, for science.
Oh boy. Then follows Amelia into the room and slams the door shut. There's a moment of silence as Zach and I stare at the closed door.
Is it just me, or did that seem unusually suspicious to you?
Definitely suspicious, but I'm not even sure why. Still bad about what happened. Zach and I enter our room and get ready for bed. Zach keeps his stuff tucked into. Well, the train was more comfortable than I expected. I cannot compare it to a real bed. As I snuggle into the blankets, I soon drift into a restful slumber. I found the way to do it without adjusting the window. Or clicking on an accident. Zach and I awaken at dawn and suddenly go about preparing for the day. As I grab a few items off my bed, I look over to Zach, who is fiddling with his gun. That guy sure gives his charger a lot of attention. Morning. He glances up and nods.
I'm heading down. Meet me there when you're ready.
Sure. Zach shoulders his pack and leaves. This is probably the quietest morning I've had so far. It's a little strange. I pack up the last of my things, follow Zach downstairs where I find him waiting alone. Where are Leanna and Amelia? He shrugs.
Still getting ready, I guess.
Girl time. Okay. That's unusual. Leanna is generally the first one up. We wait a couple more minutes before the girls finally show up, carrying the Pongo with them. Billy smiles widely at the Pongo, who grins back. These two seem to be in a good mood. Leanna, on the other hand, looks exhausted. I say, good morning. Good morning. Leanna smiles.
Morning.
The Pongo wobbles Amelia's arms. She nods her greeting.
We should move on so we don't lose any daylight.
Zach looks over at Amelia, who rummages through her bag. Then she pulls out a map. I glance at the carefully detailed mountains and rivers. Suddenly, I'm missing my GPS.
We will proceed eastward through the forest adjacent to Bazada.
Alright.
From there, we will travel northbound towards the Sonoa Mountains.
We're gonna stroll across the different locations.
Assuming there are no divergences in the course, we should arrive in Ember Mist by midday. Any inquiries?
Amelia folds the map and glances at the rest of us. We all look at each other.
Then let us begin our journey.
Okay. We're journeying. She leads the way out of the inn and through the streets of Basada. Even this early in the morning, the marketplace is still bustling with people. Carefully traversing the streets and alleys, the crowd begins to thin as we reach the city borders. Lily consults her map, then continues out of the city. Without the high cover of the stalls, I blink at the clear blue sky. In the distance, I can see the dark leafy cover of the trees. That must be where we're going. Once you reach the forest, I'm surprised how much shade the leaves provide. The branches are strong and the leaves are thick, exposing pockets of sunshine. Millie keeps the map on hand as there are no trails. Aside from a few other stragglers exploring the woods, I can hear the scurry of woodland animals. With so much cover and so few people, this would be the perfect opportunity for a bandit ambush. I look towards Zach and Leah, who both seem unconcerned. I suppose it wouldn't make sense for bandits to hide out in a forest which is mostly devoid of people. We aren't carrying any cargo either, so there's even less of a reason to attack us. The deeper we're traveling into the woods, the thicker the canopy of leaves become, nearly blocking out all the sunlight. All the other people have long gone, and even the rustle of bushes have become quiet. Pongo is scared. Pongo nestles even deeper in Amelia's arms. Leanna shivers and wraps her arms around herself in a hug. You okay? She seems startled and drops her arms, trying to act normal.
I'm fine.
Alright, just checking. She smiles. The forest continues to block out even more light. Soon it becomes so dark we can barely see what's in front of us.
Are you sure we're going the right way?
Into the darkness. Amelia pulls the torch out of her bag in response. She touches her fingers to the tip of the torch and her bracelet glows. Then the torch erupts into flames.
Indeed, there is no need for alarm. The darkness merely indicates we're about to enter the Forest of Sorrows.
Oh god. You mean the door to darkness?
Forest of Sorrows?
Yeah, just a casual forest of sorrows. I'm surprised Leanna's outburst. Her face is deathly pale.
Do we have to go through here? There must be an alternate route.
Leanna shakes her head. Nope.
Ember Mist can only be accessed through these woods.
God damn it. Leanna groans.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
God damn it. What's up with this forest of sorrows? I mean, it sounds spooky enough, but is it really that bad?
It is rumored that those who venture into the Forest of Sorrows never come out.
Oh, that's why they didn't want you to go. They never come out? You're nuts.
The reason people are unable to escape is because they hear the voices of the loved ones they have lost. They fruitlessly search for their loved ones, losing their way, chasing the wailing of the spectrals.
No! Amelia, stop! We can travel through this stupid place if we have to, but no more of this story stuff that isn't true and can't be true, so it's not true.
Oh no. While Leanna tries to put on a brave front, her voice grows shriller the longer she talks. Right. Leanna nods.
Then let us continue.
I turn to Zach. Do you think all this stuff about the Forest of Sorrows is possible?
It doesn't matter if I think it's possible, because it's the truth.
Zach!
God damn it.
Stop!
As Leia turns away, Zach cracks a fleeting smile before resuming his stony stare. The rare smile of Nathan Sharp. Anyway, the trees have now lost their cozy feel, completely look thick, old, and withered. The airleaf silence is deafening, and each crunch of leaves beneath our feet reminds you of the inevitability of death and decay. Jesus fucking Christ, that's some description right there. I keep seeing flashes of beady eyes peering among the branches. The squawk of crows pierces the silence, making me jump. Instinctively, I pick up the pace, as does everyone else. Nana grows increasingly agitated.
Are you sure we're going the right way? I swear that I've seen that.
A cold gust of wind extinguishes the torch! Okay, I guess it's me. Lana latches onto my arm, pulls her closer to her chest. Her eyes are squeezed shut and burrows her face against me. Lana turns as Amelia relights the torch. Lana peeps an eye and glances down at my arm, and where it rests on her chest. Her cheeks burn as hot as the torch, and she quickly drops my arm.
Sorry,
She trails off as her blush deepens. I bet her nerves from the forest and the awkwardness of gravity is making her flustered. She might be more comfortable holding on to me, but that's an equally awkward suggestion. You can haul in if you want. Leon almost seems grateful for the offer, but then notices Zach and Amelia.
No, it's okay. The light going out just caught me off guard.
Remember, consent is important, kids. Are you sure? She nods. Okay. Zach waits impatiently a few paces ahead of us.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Affirmative.
Okay, that's an awkward way of saying yes. We all hurry to catch up to Zach and continue through the forest. No wonder people get lost. This place feels like it's endless. Gradually, the darkness fades away as the trees are illuminated by an ethereal glow. As the blue and green light chases away the shadows, my mood begins to lift. The trees still look ancient, but full of wisdom and secrets instead of bad omens. Alright, so we've defeated the Forest of Sorrows. Yes. Pongo's excited to be here now. Pongo squirms violently in Amelia's arm. He wriggles free and hops around in glee. As he hops, he opens his mouth wide, but loses his balance and blinks as he falls on his head. After a few more confused seconds, he shakes himself and tries again. There must be a lot of magic in here.
We have made it through the Forest of Sorrows.
Yes. Even the music is picked up, is no longer dead and devoid of, yeah. Lana sighs in relief.
Finally.
So Ember Mist is close.
A natural concentration of crystal energy would indicate we are on the correct path.
The crystal must be what the blue and green glows from.
What do you mean, on the correct path? Haven't you traveled here before?
Amelia shakes her head.
No, this is my first journey.
You mean you had us travel through the Forest of Sorrows without knowing for sure that it would lead us to Ember Mist?
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's right. Lana gapes at Amelia.
Well, we did make it through. And if we do reach Ember Mist, then she would have delivered on her promise.
Exactly. Zach nods at Amelia, who looks curiously at him. While deep in thought, it looks like she's reworking a previous analysis of him. Then she nods back. Leanna opens her mouth to argue, but stops.
I suppose it doesn't matter now that we're almost there.
That's right.
On that conclusion, let us continue.
That's right. We trail behind Amelia, the Pongo blissfully hopping along, as she navigates us out of the rest of the forest. Emberless lies just beyond the edge of the forest, and soon we approach the heavy gates of the city. Two tanned men with leather armor and carved wooden staves inlaid with rough crystals stand guard. Their staves are crossed, and the light seems to shimmer as it catches negative space between the staves. Is that some kind of magic?
Please state your business.
As students from the Mage Academy, we seek an audience with Elder Isim.
They look over and I shift out carefully under their gaze. Their blank eyes seem to burrow deep into my soul. God. They close their eyes and the red crystals inlaid in their staves glow. Translucent glimmers increase. After a few minutes, they open their eyes and remain silent. I glance at Leanna, who looks back at me. I whisper, "Are they gonna listen?" She shakes her head uncertainly. Ted crosses his arms, so I doesn't seem bothered by the situation. Amelia stands confidently and waits patiently. I guess things are going according to her plan? This one can no longer bear the silence. A figure steps out from behind the gates. He's an old squirrely man with a set of glasses which slip down his hooked nose. He wears a faded and wrinkled open robe.
Elder Isim.
Yes? Who is it?
Portraits! Yes, who is it? We got it. Cool.
I am Amelia Stahl from the Mage Academy, and these are my associates.
Okay, it did not break up any more times. I think we're good. We'll be good. I was concerned because it briefly flashed up alive on this thing. Nope.
The Mage Academy, you say?
Yeah. He adjusts the glasses on his nose and peers at Amelia.
Yes. Yes.
This guy's weird. One by one, he peers at the rest of us. He barely glances at Zach, but looks at Leanna with interest when he recognizes her guild emblem. Finally, his gaze lingers on me, as if he's trying to place me, but can't.
Well, come on in then. No point in standing around.
Oh, I'm old. The guards break away as he beckons us in, and translucent shimmers disappear. After we pass through the gates, I look back right before the gates close and see the guards resume their original position. Elder Isim shuffles along the dirt path and leads us through the quaint village. Soldiers tend to wear plain, loose-fitting tunics. Aside from the guards, most people don't carry weapons, although many of them do wear simple bracelets embedded with crystals. We soon arrive at a strangely architecturally stable dirt clay hut. As we enter, I covertly touch the walls. It reminds me of glazed ceramic tiles. We settled down on wide cushions on the floor.
How were you able to find this place?
Through you.
Eh?
Mo pulls out a worn tome. Where has she been keeping that this whole time? Behind her cloak, I assume.
My old research. I thought I'd lost this.
As Elder Isim carefully turns pages to the tome, Leanna clears her throat.
We were told you can help us.
By whom?
Professor Xavier.
Elder Isim lets out a loud laugh.
Xavier is a professor now. Good for him.
Oh shit.
I've been out of touch with Haven God and Lumia for many years. I'm not sure how I can help.
Okay. So yeah, fills him in on all that's happened so far. We gave the spiked energy readings and every Professor Xavier's advice. And me. She keeps the story simple and straight to the point, carefully limiting the fact that I am not from this world. Elder Isim listens thoughtfully, but grows more excited the longer Leanna talks.
The temporal rifts. It's been so long since I really researched them. I'm afraid I've been rather distracted.
Oh shit.
Still, someone is here hoping to discuss these theories, and I'm more than happy to talk about them.
He claps his hands excitedly.
Where should we start?
Yes. As about to answer, a deep rumble beneath the earth stops me. What was that?
Oh, just the volcano. Nothing to worry about.
It's just a volcano. Okay. Elder Isim's demeanor remains relaxed. If something bad were to happen, he wouldn't be acting this way, right? I exchange glances with the rest of the group. Leanna looks perturbed while me and Zach both stand alert. At least I'm not the only one who's uneasy.
There's no need to look so concerned. The volcano will not erupt. This is the first sign of activity it has shown in thousands of years.
Oh shit. Isn't that concerning?
Perhaps if it were any other volcano, but this particular volcano is in the domain of the fire elemental who protects us all.
Oh, cool.
This fire elemental of which you speak, are you referencing the ancients?
At least we have somebody that knows how to do things.
Precisely.
Knows about the lore of elementals and volcanoes. Zack crosses his arms.
The ancients are only a story.
Who are these ancients?
They are the elements of Asaria. The magic which we have learned to manipulate are the gifts left behind from the ancients.
That's how the legend goes.
Yeah?
You are mistaken. They are not a legend.
It looks uncertain while Zack scowls.
You still believe in those stories?
I believe in the research, and Elder Ism has accumulated plenty of it.
Exactly.
Then where have the elementals been all this time?
We all turn our focus to the Elder.
I suppose I do have a few theories on that as well. But the elements are a lot trickier than temporal rifts. The story of the ancients is so old it predates our understanding of crystals and spheres. That's why most societies have forgotten about them and brush them off as a legend. The people in this village, though, have not forgotten. When I arrived, I was purely focused on finding the fire temple for research purposes. But the longer I stayed, the more my focus strayed from the temporal rifts to the ancients themselves.
I see.
If you believe that the cause of those random energy spikes are the result of temporal rifts, perhaps that is the link to the return of the elementals to Asaria.
What does that mean exactly? Shakes his head.
It's hard to say. We don't know why they left in the first place. My guess is that something was keeping them occupied in the spirit world. Perhaps whatever that is was set free by the rifts.
Billy hangs on to Elder Isom's every word. Leia absentmindedly fiddles with her manipulator, deep in thought. Only Zack seems skeptical of this conversation. It sounds really complicated, not something that can be solved in a few hours. We need to get back on track. How do I get home? To back to the original topic on hand. Elder Isom nods.
Ah, the temporal rifts, yes.
How would one go about creating a rift?
Well, that will be difficult. You'll need an incredible amount of energy, more than any one human can create. The only places with that much concentration of energy is in the temples of the elementals.
He said there was one in the village.
Yes, the fire temple is here in Ember Mist.
Great. The body grows warm as hope floods through my veins. This is good. I finally have a way home.
To be more precise, it's on the outskirts of the village, built on the side of the volcano, but it's not a far walk.
Then that's where we need to go.
Anna pushes herself to her feet, and the rest of us do the same. As Elder Isom rises, his face falls.
Leaving so soon? I was hoping we'd have a longer chance to chat. I have so many questions about Illumia and the Academy. As you can imagine, one does not get a lot of news of the outside world here.
Perhaps on our return.
Yes, of course. Well, you best be on your way then.
Elder Ism, it was truly an honor to meet you.
Billy's cheeks flush as Elder Isom grins. She was really respect him. In that moment, I realized just how small and dainty she looks. Sometimes I forget how young she is compared to the rest of us. We all say our goodbyes and exit the hut. Once outside, we scanned the horizon, trying to orient ourselves towards the volcano.
Excuse me.
It's a named character. I wear around come face to face with a woman wearing just enough fabric to cover her essentials and nothing more. Jesus Christ. Her long brown hair is tied up in a ponytail which falls down her neck and frames her very ample chest. Who are you? Before I have a chance to speak, Zack asks a question in everyone's mind.
Who are you?
Zack steps in front of Amelia, who frowns and steps away. I guess he's taking his bodyguarding business really seriously. Leanne holds herself stiffly, ready to move if necessary. The woman salutes.
Car Noir, treasure hunter extraordinaire.
Alright. Treasure hunters. We got it. Zack knows his eyes.
What do you want with us?
Oh boy. Oh lord, indeed. Yes. You stumbled upon Nathan Sharp talking to somebody here.
Well, I couldn't help but overhear that you're interested in the fire temple.
Alright. Well,
How did you hear us when we were inside?
she taps her nose knowingly.
I have very sensitive hearing.
I fail to understand how our interests are of relevance to you.
I was just getting to that. You see, I've come to offer an extension of friendship.
Really now. Both in Zach raised an eyebrow.
Or at least an extension of mutual benefit.
Well then. Okay.
It's true that the villagers maintain the fire temple, but from what I've discovered, they are unaware of the temple's secret passage.
Ooh.
If you're interested in the energy of the temple, I can guarantee that's where you'll find it.
Cool.
If the villagers don't know about the secret passage, how did you find it?
And how the fuck did you find your way to this village in the first place?
It's all a part of the treasure hunting gig. You have to be looking for it to find it.
Oh. Okay. Kara winks and gives us a thumbs up.
The best part is that I've already disarmed or made a note of most of the traps in there.
Cool. There are traps in this temple? Of course, you gotta have a trap temple. And oh lord, indeed,
Temples are
Al.
a sanctuary for the elementals, but any place that is easily accessible is sure to attract all types. There are measures set in place to protect the spirit from those who wish to harm it.
Huh.
Like I said, I've disarmed most of the traps, but not all. There is one magical barrier at the end of the tunnel which I've not yet been able to pass.
Because you probably don't have magic.
I don't have magic, but you do.
Judges Leia and Amelia.
If you can magic that barrier away, then that's at least one step closer to finding your energy.
Yes. Zach crosses his arms and glares at Kara.
How does that benefit you?
Yeah, maybe. They did use a 2D thing for this. She grins. Or at least the indie company Pixel Fade. They have like, I guess they developed their own like program for this sort of thing, and that's what's happening here.
All I'm interested in are the artifacts and relics. From the sounds of it, you guys are more interested in something else, hence mutually beneficial. So, what do you think?
What do you think? I look at the rest of my group. We're asleep. We huddle close together and whisper. I'm gonna say there's plenty of reasons. I vote we let her join us.
If she's already marked the passageway and traps, then we can just follow her markings and break the barrier ourselves. I can't think of a reason why we would need to bring her along.
Five's company? I can think of two. God damn it! Why do I play characters that are assholes?
I must concede that I am impressed by her resourcefulness. It is plainly evident that she is not a native to Embermist, which means she somehow discerned the location on her own.
She had to also pass through the Forest of Sorrows and not get lost. That's a really good point. Well, looks thoughtful.
As a treasure hunter, her tracking skills could come in handy in the future.
Yes, let's hire her. We all stare at Zach. He shrugs.
Do what you want.
That sounds like a yes to me. Zach doesn't respond. He just fixes his steely gaze on me.
So, does this mean we're agreed to join up with Kara?
Yes, we all nod.
Hi.
Pongo is here. Pongo sits in the middle of our circle and blinks happily. Where do you even go when you're in hiding?
Hi, boy. Let's go tell
The
Kara.
hammer space, that is the background of this game. We turn around and Kara stands right behind Leanna, her face only inches away. Leanna lets out a startled gasp. Jeez, what is she, some kind of ninja? Probably. Kara rubs her hands excitedly.
All right, this will be fun.
And this makes all the cast that has CVs that are listed.
Wait, we didn't give you our answer yet.
She overheard you.
Oh, sorry.
She steps back and gestures for Leanna to continue. Leanna speaks awkwardly. I guess she feels a little silly saying what Kara somehow already knows.
Well, we decided to take you up on your offer.
I mean, we weren't exactly quiet. Kara nods.
Excellent. Since we're going to be working together, first things first. You all know my name, but I don't know yours.
Okay.
I'm Leanna.
Mage Knight from the Guild?
Yep.
I am Amelia Estelle, a mage caster from the Mage Academy.
Get our proper introductions now. Care of Lynx.
A student to become a mage caster? But you look just like a teenager.
Millie cocks her head to the side.
It is natural that my physical appearance would represent my age.
Wow. She looks at Amelia with respect.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah?
Who's next?
She looks at Zach.
Zach.
She chuckles.
Very clearly a mercenary.
Yeah, he's got guns under that trench coat. And, every night study me, although she's very clearly examining me, I don't feel uncomfortable under her stare.
Now that that's out of the way.
Boy.
And Pongo's here. Kara steps back and views the Pongo by my feet.
You have a bongo! How cute!
Yes! He passed the security on the train and boarded with us. He's great. She reaches down and pats him on the head. He beams at her touch.
And what's your name?
She glances at the rest of us, but none of us make a move to answer.
Oh, is he not a part of your group?
He is. Sort of.
He's just been following me ever since.
And you haven't named him yet?
Of course not. Man, I shuffle uncomfortably. Zach remains unchanged while Amelia frowns.
A pongo is a wild creature.
Kara straightens and pats Amelia on the head, much to her dismay.
If you say so. Okay. Are we ready to get going?
He'll always be named Pongo to me. We remember our set, then Kara leads us out of the city. As we walk, another ominous rumble sends butterflies to my stomach. I can't shake off the feeling that we are literally walking into a fire. That was a weird dip and frames and stuff. I glance at the others who seem unfazed. I guess it's just me. Pushing my insecurities down, I silently follow the group towards the temple. Just as Elder Isim noted, the temple is a short walk out of the village on a well-worn dirt path. The road is mostly empty with only one or two travelers coming back towards the village. The temple is an open structure for roaring fire in the middle of a grand hall. High columns of flames carved into them hold up the building. Adorning the stone walls are beautiful tiled mosaics. There's one wall with some strange symbols scratched on them. They're very faded, I have to squint to make it out. From what I can make out, 4 symbols surround a darkness in a square, with a line of fire enclosing the perimeter, trapping the darkness in the center. Huh, I wonder what this is. Amelia glances over, then peers at the carving.
Those symbols represent each of the magical elements.
She points to each one.
There is fire, water, earth, and wind.
Then she points to the center.
And that is shadow.
I've never considered shadow an element before.
It is one of the elemental magics.
Yet the forbidden one. Kara, Zach, and Leanna have already moved on, so the rest of us hustle to catch up. Besides us, the only other people in the temple are the monks who care for it. They're dressed in woven red robes in the same open and loose style as the villagers from Embermist. Quietly, they shuffle back and forth, sweeping the floor and lighting any of the smaller fires which have burned low.
Hi.
He's impressed. The Pongo looks around in wonder and reverence. At the sight of the giant flame, he squeaks and hops up on me, claiming his spot on my shoulder. Kara bows briefly before the large flame, then leads us to the back of the chamber and stops in front of an empty wall.
We're here.
Zach sighs. Kara might be a little out there, but I don't get the impression she's stupid. There's more to the wall than first meets the eye. Is there a mechanism hidden somewhere which shares a doorway? Kara's eyes glitter.
Bingo!
That's right. With her gaze fixed on us, Kara pushes on a brick and a segment of the wall pushes in and swings open. She waves at the opening with a flourish.
Ta-da!
How do you know which brick to push in?
It usually depends, but in this case, there's one brick that sticks out slightly more than the others. If you weren't looking for it, you won't see it.
Yeah, so it's just like Indiana Jones. Next thing you know, there's gonna be a giant fucking boulder barreling down towards us. She heads through the opening and pushes the wall closed behind us. Then she leads us down a winding stone stairway, which ends at the beginning of a narrow passage. We follow in behind her. She carefully picks her way down the hall. It's a very plain stone hallway with wall sconces lining the wall. I look down at my feet and notice a brick with an X marked on it. I have a feeling this X didn't make its way onto the stone by itself. I better not touch it. Then she lays up around the brick. A few feet away, spot another X. Is Donald seeing these random X's? Kara glances back.
I should hope so. I left those there so as not to set off the same traps again.
Oh, cool. Makes sense. We resume walking. The deeper we travel, the more X's I notice. Wow, there are a lot of traps in here. Zach pauses in front of a corridor where the walls are covered in X's.
Why are there so many X's on this wall?
Kara looks down the same passageway.
Oh, it's a two-part trap.
Points to a stone in the ground with the same X marking.
Basically, if you step on the ground stone, it triggers thick bars to shoot out from all the X's in the wall and block the path.
Oh shit. That doesn't sound too bad.
Only if you know how to limbo. The bars have something keeping them hot and will burn you if you touch it.
Cool. Great. Fantastic. Okay, that sounds worse.
And you were able to cross that?
Kara winks.
I am very limber.
Yeah. I expected Zach to brush off her comment like he brushed off every other girl, but he actually looks impressed. I really looks between Zach and Kara.
Based on the dilation of Zach's pupils, it appears that Kara's flexibility is attractive to him.
Okay. Just to be fucking calling the shots here. Zach is taken aback.
I was just thinking that it's a useful skill set to have.
Kara has a mischievous glint in her eyes.
Useful skill set to have. In what context?
God, stop piling on the fucking the innuendos, man. Zach
For
frowns.
scouting and navigating, you've done a thorough job mapping this place out and marking the traps.
Leah looks amused.
Zach, was that a compliment?
Yes. He glares at Leanna.
No, an observation.
Kara smiles playfully.
Then thank you for the observation.
Zach falls into silence before turning away. I think that's the most I've ever heard him talk in a 30-second span. Jesus Christ. We continue through the tunnels. Eventually, she stops in front of another well of fire in the middle of the hall.
The barrier's here.
She gestures at the swinging metallic wall behind the well. The way that it glares as it wisps and curls almost looks like a fire. Leanna and Amelia step closer and inch their hands in front of them before gingerly touching the barrier.
It's surprisingly solid for something that looks so gaseous. Maybe there's some wind magic interwoven with whatever other magic is here.
That makes sense. The Pongo hops forward with the stars in his eyes.
Boy.
You're not gonna try to eat that wall, are you? Yeah, straight for the barrier! Oh no!
Pongo, wait!
Oh no! I stretch out my arm to race after him. Pongo, no! Instead of running into the wall, Pongo passes straight through and out of sight. Take home. Then it gasps and rushes through the wall.
Pongo? Oh no! What if something happens to him?
Are we gonna save our slime? I step over and put a hand on her shoulder to calm her down. He's a scrappy and resourceful Pongo. I'm sure he'll be okay.
I suppose so.
I mean, he got onto the train like a ninja, avoiding the sight of the train people. I'm sure we'll be fine. Lana bites her lip and stares anxiously at the barrier.
Pongo.
The blue head pops out of the barrier. What? He hops the rest of the way out.
Boy.
Lana scoops up in a hug.
Pongo, you're back safe.
Boy. After a second, the Pongo wiggles out of her arms and rushes back over to me. Lana pouts and her focus on the barrier. Amelia places both of her hands back on the barrier while Lana holds out her manipulator.
Whatever is beyond this wall hosts a plethora of energy.
Cool. Leah nods.
My manipulator confirms that. No wonder the Pongo ran in there.
Yes. Seth continues to hang back and observe. Vakar steps closer to the barrier.
But how did he even pass through?
Pongo. Leah shrugs. Leah continues studying the wall, moving her hands up and down.
I do not recognize this magic.
She frowns, deeply disturbed.
Is there anything you can do to break it?
Let's see.
Leah and Amelia both put out their hands on the barrier, their manipulators glowing. They each transmit pulse of magic which disperse across the surface in a shimmering wave. I think they're trying to create stress fractures to crack the wall. After a few tries, Leah sighs frustration, then steps back.
Amelia, stand back.
She wordlessly obeys. Then guides her energy to her gauntlet and strikes the barrier with an empowered strike. Suddenly, golden leathering forms on the barrier. Resolve your will to enter mine. What does that mean? No one answers. Amelia steps forward and focuses on the well of flickering flame.
If I am interpreting this message correctly, we must part with our most precious possession, our world, and throw it in the fire.
Oh no. Leah nods thoughtfully.
Kind of like we're freeing ourselves.
Kara's face drains of color as she clutches at her pack.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We have someone that understands puzzles. She sat around awkwardly until Leanna clears her throat.
If that's what we need to do, then it seems easy enough. I'll go first.
Okay. And now as Leanna steps up through the fire. She reaches below her collar and slips a thin gold chain over her neck, then throws it into the flames. Taking a deep breath, she steps straight through the barrier. It worked. I'll go next. I step up to the fire. What do I choose? Oh! Well, we established that the wallet's kind of fucking worthless. Playing cards can be fine. Pongo! No. My waifu, Leah passed through the barrier, so no. I'm gonna toss my wallet in there. I fetch in my pockets to grab my wallet. My entire identity's in there. I also see ID and credit cards. Part of it makes my chest hurt. Reluctantly, I toss it in the fire and watch flames lop it up. I see almost over and slowly step forward. As I cross through, I feel a tingle of energy and hear the crackle of electricity. There's a bright light, blinding my vision. I have a flashback of my crossing to Terra. My foot lands on solid ground. I pass through the barrier unharmed. I'm surprised they didn't have a phone as an option. Anyway, gradually my eyes adjust to the dim light, and I see them in a cozy room. Okay! In the middle of the room is a fox, who swishes its tail as it observes me. Beyond is a beautiful woman with flaming red hair. Her delicate hand rests atop of the fox's head. As I look her over, her gaze lands on me. Who are you? The woman blinks at me, then smiles. For a second, I think I see the flames laying the room flicker, and a warmth radiates her body. It's pleasant, like an embrace. Although she holds my gaze, she doesn't speak. How'd you get in here? Again, she remains silent, but this time she takes a step closer.
Who are you talking to?
Huh? I peek behind the woman and see Zack standing with an eyebrow raised and his arms crossed. The rest of my companions pause in their inspection of the room and stare at me. Kara stands beside an altar while Amelia and Leanna are both kneeling by the fox. The fox accepts her attention, rhythmically swishing its tail, but her eyes makes no move to respond. Instead, it fixes its attention on me.
Are you talking to the fox?
No. I'm gonna say I don't think they can see her. I fall silent as the group casts me worried glances.
Who exactly are you seeing?
There's a woman dressed in red. She's kind of flaming, and she's standing right there with her pet firefox. Lena looks towards the fox, where her eyes glaze right over the woman. She furrows her brows, concerned.
Okay.
Her voice is gentle, like she doesn't want to spook me. None of you guys can see her? The group collectively shakes their heads. I don't know why you guys can't see her, but I promise you she's there.
Boy.
Maybe Pongo knows. Pongo hops up from between my legs. He first examines the woman with partial interest and stares in wonder at the fox.
Boy?
Fox cocks his head to the side and observes the Pongo. The Pongo perks up and cautiously bounces forward. He pauses right before the fox. The fox's nose wiggles as it sniffs at the Pongo. Then it swishes its tail and the Pongo squeaks before running back behind my legs.
Boy.
Wait, do you see her too?
Boy.
The woman giggles at the Pongo and gently pats his head. He shivers happily at her touch. Then she straightens up and takes a step closer. Her feet don't touch the ground, her skirt floats ethereally behind her. Instinctively, I back away.
What's going on?
She's getting closer, a lot closer. She pauses when she draws near and touches her palm to my forehead. A pulse of warmth flows through me before she retracts her hand. As if something inside me clicked open, I feel invigorated with restored strength. The stronger I feel, the more translucent the woman becomes. Soon, she disappears. Pongo stares at me with renewed interest. It reminds me of that same look he gave me when we first met. He licks his lips. Don't even think about it.
Boy.
The Pongo pouts and lets out a sad sigh. Kara waves her hands in front of my face.
Hey, are you okay? You kind of zoned out there for a second.
Maybe. I think I'm fine.
What happened?
I'm not too sure.
Where's the woman now?
Actually, she's gone. Amelia reacts to my words by playing with her bracelets. She holds her manipulator up to me.
Curious. I may have a theory.
A theory. What is it?
All the energy which had accumulated here has now gathered within you.
Again! I blink as it takes me a minute to register what she just said. Wow, I absorb energy? That can't be right.
As I mentioned, it is merely a theory.
Can we cast spells? Lena looks intrigued.
How is that possible?
I don't know, I felt it after she touched me. On the head. Lena's eyes widen.
I wouldn't phrase it like that.
I agree, Zach. Not in a weird way, just touched my forehead and suddenly felt a rush of energy. Oh god. Alright. Alright, I have to relight my AC unit, but Amelia stares hard at me. Why are you looking at me like that?
I am merely anticipating the imminent reaction.
Oh no. Not the reaction. I think that's enough water for it. Let's see. Reaction to what?
The high concentration of energy you just absorbed. The human body was not meant to process such large quantities of energy.
Yeah, that's what fucking Professor Orton said.
At least, that has certainly been the trend with someone from Terra.
Curious. Amelia's gaze bores into me as she emphasizes the word Terra. Then she looks back down at her manipulator.
Although, 2 minutes have passed, and there seems to be no sign of an adverse reaction.
Why'd she sound so disappointed? Was she hoping that I'd just blow up out of energy or something? Suddenly, Kara squeals as he gingerly picks up a rusty coin out of the remains of a leather satchel.
This is a genuine Vestin coin!
Jack glances at the coin and folds his arms, clearly unimpressed.
How much could a rusted out, dated coin be worth?
About a few hundred gold pieces.
Yes. The taximeter instantly changes.
You don't say.
Well then. Kara smoothly pockets the satchel as Zack covertly searches the room. As Kara finishes up her inspection of the room, Leanna looks around.
Well, since we found what we came for, we should head back.
Yeah? Kara nods and leads the way out. As we leave the room, we notice the fire which had previously glowed in front of the barrier is now gone, but all of our items are still intact. Hey, nothing was burned in there.
Curious. Then it can be assumed that the purpose of this trial was not to destroy our possessions, but to test our willingness to sacrifice.
Well, I guess I made the right fucking call. Kara happily scoops out her coin purse.
I'm not complaining.
Lena smiles in relief as she reaches in and quickly collects what looks like a ring attached to a thin chain.
Let's keep going.
The rest will snatch up her items and continue back out of the corridor. The trek out of the temple is a lot faster and easier than the trek in, mostly because there are no more obstacles to stop us. We pop out the same hidden wall which we entered, just as before. The main ceremonial hall is empty. We wave goodbye to a couple of monks sweeping the entryway, then begin to walk back to the village. Alright. I'm going to take this opportunity to actually talk to them. Ask Kara who the Vestins were. I fall in step with Kara. She's new, so who exactly were the Vestins?
They were the original tribe of Ember Mist, and the initial keepers of the Fire Temple.
That's right. Did they build the temple? Kara shrugs. I don't fucking
It
know.
depends on who you ask. Some experts believe they did. Others think the temple was already there by the time the Vestins came about.
Interesting. Now I'm curious. How'd you get into treasure hunting? She paused just a little too long for flashing me her usual cheerful grin.
I just sort of fell into it, honestly. Treasure hunting naturally fit into my nomadic lifestyle.
Ah, nomad. Where'd you learn all the history to even identify relics?
You'd be surprised how much you pick up along the way, especially after you realize what a lucrative business this can be.
So you just hit it for the money?
I didn't say that. I'll admit that at first I was just in it for the money. But the more I learned about the ancient people of Asaria, the more invested I became in the history of each relic I found.
So, you're almost like a Indiana Jones that also would like to have some money on the side to do things. But that relic does belong in the museum for the right price.
I started to find myself daydreaming about who might have used the items I found. What kind of person were they? Did they cherish this item, or was it just another piece of their ever-growing collection of stuff?
That's a good point. I never thought about it like that before. Maybe if I had, I would have paid more attention in history class. Kara looks at me strangely.
Are you a treasure hunter too?
No.
But you sought out experts dedicated to history?
Something like that. It was less me seeking it out, more of a requirement I had to fulfill. Kara looks skeptical, but doesn't pry. We'll ask Amelia what her theory about the mysterious woman is. I approach Amelia. So that theory you mentioned in Temple about the woman, what was it? Amelia glances at me.
Given the location and circumstances previously described by Elder Issam, my estimation is that the unknown woman you encountered was a projected image of the fire elemental. Of course, as I could not observe her myself, I cannot be certain.
Makes sense. Do you think that's why she wouldn't talk back? Also, why wouldn't she just show up in person?
The amount of energy needed to sustain just an appearance of the elemental would have drained the temple completely. There would have been no energy left for her to give to you.
Is that why she disappeared right after?
The depletion of energy in the temple would have meant she'd no longer be sustained in this world.
It looks thoughtful.
Although, it is quite unusual that she would have you absorb the energy to begin with.
I see. As easy vision as her, I mean, who else could have been? Really nods.
It pleases me that you too have reached the same conclusion.
Thanks. She looks thoughtful.
Still, it is quite perplexing that she would only reveal herself to you.
I mean, I'm from Earth, not Terra, so that... Not just me, the Pongo saw her too, I think. He didn't really make it clear if he was seeing her or just the fox thing.
The Guardian.
Ah, the Guardian. Huh?
The fox would be the guardian of the fire temple. Each temple has its own guardian who protects it.
Ah, I see. Oh, so how come the Guardian didn't attack us for breaking into the temple?
We did not break in. The guardian enforces the trial in the temple. Only those who are able to complete the trials are welcome into the temple.
That makes sense. In this case, that magical fire we had to put our stuff in. Really not, it's still deep in thought. I'm still trying to figure out why no one else could see the elemental. He nods again. Any theories?
As of now, I do not have one. but perhaps after some further research.
Her voice trails off as she falls back into deep thought. Karazak and Amelia lead the way back to Everbris while I lag behind. Pongo sits on my head. Leanna notices my absence and falls in step with me. She pets the Pongo, who ignores her, still too focused on the energy around me. Leanna pouts and shakes away the Pongo's disregard of her and focuses their attention on me.
Something on your mind?
Yes, plenty. I drop my voice low so the others can't hear me. Now that I've collected the energy from the temple, that means I can try to create a temporal rift and go back home, right? Kara stops and whirls around to face us. Zach and Amelia stop with her.
Pardon me, you were speaking very softly and it was a little hard to hear, but it sounded like you just said you need to open a temporal rift to go back home? But that can't be right, can it?
Jeez, this one's got some supersonic hearing. That's Leah, who looks alarmed. About that. Kara's smile falters by hesitance, but Amelia looks excited.
I knew it. My hypothesis is correct.
Oh shit, we were the one who passed through the barrier.
Hypothesis? What hypothesis?
My hypothesis that he is from a parallel world.
Yep. Then his eyes grow wide and she forces a panicked smile.
I think all this parallel world and temporal rift talk has been getting to you. I mean, Elder Isum said it's impossible.
He has already admitted it.
What, Leah and I have been careful not to say anything. When?
The day of our acquaintance.
I rack my brain, but don't remember bringing that up around Amelia.
You sought out Professor Xavier's guidance, and after he imparted his advice, you and Leanna had a brief discussion in which you mentioned that what he had suggested was exactly what happened to you. Thus began my hypothesis that you arrived from a parallel world.
Oh god. We're being observed. Studied. Leah looks at me, unsure how to react. Fuck it, I'll come clean. There's no point in denying it now. If our game of cheat is any indication, Billy can see right through it a lie. You're right, I'm not from Terra.
Not from Terra, huh?
Yeah. Duck lifts me up and down and nods to himself.
That's a lot better than the alternative.
What's the alternative?
That you might be unique.
Huh.
Zach!
Jesus Christ, he shrugs.
He didn't even know what a discharger was.
God!
At least if he's from another world, that explains why he didn't know these things.
Kara looks skeptical.
How did he get here?
Fuck if I know.
Unexplainably high concentrations of energy popping up throughout Isaria, and he happened to show up at one of those areas.
Yes, we were isekai into existence.
We
Thank
went
you.
to the Mage Academy to get some answers, and that's how we came up with the possibility that the high energy readings were temporal rifts, and somehow he had traveled through one.
Yeah.
Why or how those rifts were even opened, we still don't know.
But if there's only way for me to get back home, then I have to try to open one. Kara shrugs.
Let's just make sure you attempt to open one far away from where I'm standing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That might be tricky considering no one knows how to open one. We may need to talk to Elder Isum.
That won't be necessary. I know how to do so already.
Oh shit. We all stare at her. How do you know that?
The directions are located in Elder Isum's old research notes, which I had gathered from the Academy. The spell itself is a simple conjuration, which even an amateur could do.
Oh god. Amateur can open temporal rift, why isn't everyone doing it?
The impossibility of the spell comes from the fact that the human body cannot manipulate the amount of energy needed for it.
Okay, that makes sense. She pauses and points to me.
He may be an exception.
I squirm slightly as their gazes fall on me.
Given that you have absorbed energy directly from the temple, which should also be an impossibility, I must assume that there is something within you which can possess the high amount of magic without suffering consequences. Perhaps it is a skill which you acquired from your world.
That's weird. My world doesn't have magic. Amelia blinks.
Regardless, only a short amount of time has passed. There is plenty of time for you to still internally combust.
Shit. A wave of unease makes my stomach queasy. Maybe I should open up this rift now before it has a chance to happen. Amelia grins of excitement.
I concur with that suggestion.
Will be enough.
That may be the best now that you have the magic.
We'll actually summon a mini-game. Jack shrugs and Kara takes a look at her open surroundings.
Maybe we should first look for a spot with a bit more cover. We don't want to be opening up rifts on an open pathway.
Makes sense.
Good point.
There was some tree cover towards the west.
The artifice follows Zach towards the trees. We stumble into the grove of trees. Both Leanne and Amelia stand on either side of me. Zach selects a tree far enough away to not be affected by any stray magic, but close enough to get a good view of what's going on. Kara, on the other hand, hangs back towards the outskirts of the trees. Zach looks back at her, and a smile on his lips.
You'll miss the show from back there. You sure you don't want to come any closer?
Kara's voice is distant.
Yep.
Yep. There's been a movie. She takes another step back behind a tree. She okay? Are you sure you're okay back there?
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just keeping watch.
Oh, make sure no one accidentally stumbles upon us.
Something like that.
Yeah. It'd be weird if bandits came and I had to fight again. Or a wizard just shows up and casts a shadow bolt on my ass or something. He studies notes and nods to herself and snaps his book shut.
The casting is quite simple. It is the same technique as any other cast.
Leanna looks at me.
Are you ready?
I nod. Amelia glances at my stance and frowns.
Your stance is incorrect. Straighten your spine.
I lengthen my spine, straight as straight as I can.
Now you are too tense. Keep yourself relaxed, but do not slump.
To stand in your default position. Okay. Or at least some of the tension in my back. He's about to speak again, but Leanna gently pulls Amelia to the side.
Okay, I think he gets it.
She steps in front of me and gives me an encouraging smile.
Your stance is fine. Just remember to raise your arms in front of you.
I do as she says, and she nods. Are we casting a spell? Are we showing them a magic trick?
Now, the actual casting part is gonna sound tricky. You'll need to focus your mind on the spell you want to cast.
So I should just think about temporal lifts?
Yes, but you need to connect that thought with the magical energy. Clear your mind of every thought.
Close my eyes, push away all of my doubts and confusion, focus on Leanna's voice.
Now, think about the rift that you wish to create.
Okay. Imagine tearing a hole in the fabric of reality. I don't actually know what a rift would look like or feel like. All I remember is a bright light. Should I focus on that light?
At the same time, sense for the magic within you.
Oh. I try to sense for any kind of magic, but nothing feels out of the ordinary. I know where the magic is.
It'll feel like a tendril or willing warmth. When you find it, reach out for it and grab hold. The magic is eager to be used and will latch on.
Alright. It is so abstract, but I know I can do it. I just have to focus. I turn within and regulate my breathing. It sounds very similar to meditation, so perhaps using the same techniques will yield success. As my breathing becomes slow and steady, I open my senses for any indication of another presence.
Once you find the magic, connect your thoughts of the rift with the magic, and then channel both the magic and the thoughts through your hands to cast it in the open.
I continue sensing, hoping to find even a hint of warmth. But how do I know if it's just my own warmth or the magic? Sweat beads on my temples as I strain to cast, but nothing happens. Eventually, my arms grow weary and my eyes exhausted. I decompress with a sigh. It didn't work.
It's okay, we can try again. People aren't usually able to cast on their first try.
That makes sense. I'm mentally grown. The idea of doing that end does not thrill me. There must still be something I'm missing.
It just takes some getting used to. Plus, you're trying to cast without a manipulator.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, both you and Amelia used manipulator's case. Maybe that's why I wasn't able to do it.
Well, the manipulator's function is to house the energy source for us to cast with. Technically, because you already have the energy within you, you shouldn't need a manipulator.
Oh. Yeah, that follows.
But this is all theory anyway. It may be easier trying to cast using a crystal, especially for a first-time caster.
So we're going to become a Magus?
Regardless,
The sword-wielding magic casting
there
class
could
from
be a multitude
Pathfinder?
of factors for why this attempt was not successful. One for which could be as simple as the fact that you still did not possess enough energy to open the rift.
Shouldn't the temple have had enough?
Theoretically, perhaps, but a significant portion of the energy was already being used to sustain the elemental's image. She was able to transfer what was left of the energy to you, which from my readings was only 20% of the total energy in the temple when we started.
Alright, so I'm going to guess before I advance the slide here that we have to visit all the other temples and somehow find our way to Shadowland temple thing. If there is a Shadow Temple, assuming. To get 100% of the energy necessary to do such a thing. Anyway, let's move on. Suddenly Kara's standing right beside us, such as cheerful as ever.
That sounds like you all still need to explore some more temples.
Aha! I jump in her presence. Even Leanna and Amelia seem surprised to see her so close. Only Zach is unaffected. How did you get here so fast? He grins at me.
Am I wrong?
The Pongo jumps out of Kara's arms and hops into mine.
Boy,
I pat him on the head as he wiggles contentedly, licking the air around me.
So it could be that he doesn't know how to cast, or that he doesn't have enough energy.
Sure, but what does that mean for you all in terms of next steps? Are you going to hang out in Ember Mist until he learns how to cast?
it could take him weeks before he can even cast the simplest of spells. That is quite a long time to rely on someone else's hospitality.
I agree.
It sounds like it would still be in your best interest to visit at least one more temple just to be sure you have enough energy. You can teach him how to cast on the way, so by the time he gets there, he'll be ready to go.
Well, it looks thoughtful.
That does seem like the better option than the alternative.
If it's the fastest way to get me back home, then I'm not opposed to having all our bases covered. Amelia nods.
That is the most efficient course of action. If we can mitigate any uncertain factors, then we can pinpoint where the weakness is and adjust accordingly for a successful cast. The research this will provide will be very informative.
I am the only VA that sounds like a robot. But that's okay. Hearing Amelia's affirmation, Zach shrugs.
Since I'm here to protect Amelia, I go where she goes.
Yeah. Kara smiles broadly and slings her arms around Zach and Amelia, much to their dismay.
Great. Then our arrangement is still on.
That's right.
Hey!
Zach moves out of Kara's grasp. She smirks.
Most men would be thrilled to have a pretty woman hug them. Right, Amelia?
Don't know if she knows what that feels
That
like.
is correct. A healthy physique is inherently attractive for potential mates.
What? I'll say this with a straight face. Kara lets go and starts to lead the way out of the forest.
We should spend the night in Ember Mist. We can plan our next steps there.
Okay, so once we are in agreement, we follow Kara back to Everest. Upon arriving, we head to the inn.
We can spend the night here. I'll meet you back down in the lobby in a few minutes.
Okay. He ventures upstairs while we secure 2 rooms with the innkeeper. As we receive our keys, Amelia excuses herself.
I wish to seek an audience with Elder Issam and continue our discussion. I would be remiss to let such an opportunity pass.
Makes sense. He seems a good guy, but maybe we can keep the fact that I'm not from here a secret.
Yes, that is something in which we are in agreement.
Thank God. Okay. He nods and leaves the inn. The core of the inn is very similar to Elder Isam's hut. Pillows and rugs line the ground as a few people sit cross-legged in front of the fire. A few tables line the other side of the lobby, all of which are empty. In fact, aside from a couple of people chatting by the fire, this place is very empty. She will not report me to whoever the police equivalent are in this world, because, fun fact, it's established that there aren't police proper in this game. There's the guild, the Mage Academy, which has Mage Knights. But other than that, just people's guards. There isn't like anything that would be considered a police force in this game. Once I sit down, I feel fatigue pass over me, but I try to shake it off. I guess they don't see too many visitors often, or too many visitors here.
For a city that's supposed to be so secret, that's not surprising. It's more surprising that they have an inn.
Yeah, That's fucking weird. I nod and stifle a yawn. Maybe they get random stragglers that come from, like, I don't know, the Forest of Sorrows and end up here. That's probably why no one ever goes back. We sit at the table as Zach orders us dinner. After a few minutes, Carrie returns.
Where's Amelia?
She went to speak with Eldrizum. Nuts. My droops on stifling yawns every few minutes. My limbs feel like lead weights and it's taking all of my effort to sit upright. After a little light yawn, Leanna glances over at me.
Maybe you should go to bed. We're winding down anyway, so it'd be a good idea to get some rest.
That's right. I nod blearily. That sounds really good right now. Guess absorbing all that energy really takes it out of you, huh? Leanna smiles at my joke.
It would seem so.
Regardless, I'm grateful for the excuse to leave. I trot upstairs and fumble with the key before opening the door. I fall into one of the twin cots and pass out as soon as my head hits the pillow. And Zach does not tuck his dischargers or his guns into the cot. I'm imagining he's doing that every time. Just taking his guns, daintily tucking them into the bed. And then, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to save here. We can look at the log. Alright, so I'm assuming the loading here will bring us to this. If I go to... we save a proper save here. Yeah, that checks out. This is the autosave, and this is when I tested it on the 25th, before I started the series in general. And this is today's save. So, we're going to save there. Now I'm going to move on to... I'm assuming nobody's playing this game on stream. That's correct. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in one of my communities I'm part of and see if somebody is a live boy. Alright. I found a raid target. Alright, so in one of my communities that I'm in, they're not like a stream team streamer that's in this Discord server, but they are just seemingly starting a stream right now, and they have one viewer. So let's pay a visit to them, shall we? They're playing 2 Point Hospital, which is a little bit different than what we've been doing here. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. We hope to see you again. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to see you tonight with some Final Fantasy at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Yeah, that. Anyway, see you. And now we end stream. Next time, Expiration.